Hello, Potato, and welcome to part 2 of my build of LEGO Kit 10278, the Modular Buildings Collection Police Station. Yes, that's the proper name of it. We'll say the proper name this time. As I stated in part 1, I think there's room for one more building in my city display, so I thought I'd put it up before I take the whole city display down in another month or so to put up the summer display, because I do intend to actually do that this year. In part 1, we built the entire first floor with sections 1 through 6. In this part, we're going to do should be the second floor, sections 7 through 10. So it might be a little bit of a shorter video because we're doing less bags. Indeed, this section only has 2 parts that have a second bag, not counting, of course, the 2 or 3 little bags that are in each of the big bags, but a separate, smaller parts bag. I'm not going to go over too much on what was in part 1 here, but if you are interested in that, go back and watch part 1, because nobody ever watches part 1. They usually just watch the last part, which this isn't it. This is part 2. But there were some interesting things in the first floor, and I think potentially most interesting of all is that there doesn't appear to be any stickers in this kit, and I guess for the price, there probably shouldn't be. I commented, I think, in the first part of the beginning that I expected to find sheets of stickers inside the instruction book, and so far I haven't, and everything has been printed. I really, part of me feels like that's a reuse of one of the pieces from the TARDIS. Maybe not, though. I think maybe that actually said police call box on it, but that just, I guess because it's kind of TARDIS blue, too. Which is to say police blue, but yeah, the first floor had some interesting details. The second floor, I really don't know what to expect from. I haven't looked too much at this kit aside from, just knowing I wanted it because it's part of the modular city. And, the first floor, no surprise, we have a donut shop, we have the lobby of the police station, we have a jail cell, we have a little newspaper stand, and we have a hint as to who the donut thief is, who I believe is going to be confirmed in this second part. But yeah, let's just get on with it. Here's part 7. We got 8, 9, and 10 over there. We'll just get on to the fast forward and get this guy built. And that is bags 7 through 10 completed. The entire second floor is now done. Looking at it, we have an apartment for, I would have assumed for the donut shop girl, but I believe this is for our donut thief, because much like the bed in the prison cell, this bed also opens up right into the donut shop. And our little newspaper guy comes with a donut on the end of a chain. Presumably, he has been fishing for donuts through that special hole under the bed. It's a very small, very IKEA-ish apartment, isn't it? It's clearly a studio. It's one of those living in 20 by 20 square studs sort of situations. And I've just knocked the flowers off of the window. So let's fix that. So there's not a whole lot interesting in this one, I think, compared to the first part. Definitely was faster to do. I mean, of course, only doing 4 parts instead of 6 will do that. But the apartment's fairly basic. We do have a sink and a cooktop. We have the record player is kind of an interesting piece with some extra records in the little side thing there. It's always interesting how they do beds. They never do beds like the same way in any two of these sets. Every set usually has a bed in it somewhere, and they're always done a little bit differently. We do have the office for the police station in here. We have a couple desks, including a typewriter and again another rotary phone. I didn't mention it in the first part, but yes, the front desk in the station has a rotary phone on it too. I'm always a little puzzled about when the modular collection is supposed to be set, because it seems kind of all over the place. Like the movie theater seemed very like 1920s, 1930s, golden age of Hollywood style. But like the 50s diner is clearly a lot closer to modern. But a lot of it looks like almost like, 30s and 40s kind of maybe pre to post World War II era. I don't know. I have no idea what era this is meant to be set in, because I want to say some kits in the modular cities have computers, not typewriters. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's just an underfunded police force and they don't have high tech. After all, they don't seem to have any guns. So far, our cops have only armed with handcuffs and a radio. And of course, in here, I think the most interesting piece in this part is the murder board, which, yes, that is an elastic band. So we'll see how many years that lasts before that just crumbles to dust. But I guess it's easier to work with than trying to tie a red string around it, right? And then over here we have the booking area. We have camera and the little booking background. Now I would argue, just lost the records, I would argue doing your booking photos in front of a window, probably not a great idea. Even with a backdrop, I would be afraid you'd, depending on the location of the sun, you would end up blowing out your pictures. And much like in part 1, we do have continuation of the grand staircase, which is a really, can I pull it out? I think I can pull it out fairly easily. No, I can't, because that piece is in the way now. It's an interesting way of doing it. Again, I think different than we've done before. Usually there are bricks stacked on each other. This time the bricks turned sideways, which is an interesting way of doing that. But yeah, it's a nice part. Fits on properly, as they of course should. This part did see the addition of the newspaper guy / donut thief, and who the book described as the veteran police officer. And I guess you can tell he's a veteran because he's got gray hair and a mustache. So that makes him the veteran police officer, which I think means the only thing we have left is the female cop. I think there's only 5 figures in this set. I'm guessing she's probably the chief, and that third floor there's probably going to be her office. I'm guessing this is the office for the other 2 officers. And of course I have other officers in the city already who can join the force, which is part of why I figured I would add this one in. But yeah, it's this is kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen this done before, using the underside of pieces to give some shape. Obviously we'll be doing that again up on the third part. We can see some there. So we have a little air conditioner up there too. That should be interesting. And again, no stickers, continuation of no stickers, which I am happy about. So yeah, I think that wraps up. Oh, let's look at the back. Let's be complete about this. We did add some more fire escape on. I guess the only way in and out of this apartment is the fire escape, which is quite inconvenient. No wonder the guy's a criminal. I mean, can you imagine trying to bring groceries up that? I'm guessing maybe he, like, climbs up, brings down some rope, ties them up, and pulls them up. I don't know. That seems really inconvenient. And moving in, no wonder he only has a bed, because, I mean, how do you get furniture up into that? Real inconvenient. But an interesting design. But that'll finish up part 2 here. 2/3 of the way through. Definitely a faster part because we did less stuff and they had less bags to them, and not as many fiddly bits as I was expecting. I mean, there's some in the molding here like I expected, and we had the leaves, which were actually a lot less fiddly than I thought they would be. But all we have left to do now is the 3rd floor and the roof, and that will be in part 3, which I should be posting very shortly. Indeed, chances are it's already up. So I hope you found this part at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and then click on part 3, which should be appearing right about here any second now. And I'll see you in that next video. Part 3, right there.